I hope you can all see my screen. I'm going to mute you all off during the presentation. And yep, I hope that going on well. Okay, so this is about the CPENT Certified Penetration Testing Professional. EC Council calls it the ultimate pen testing certification. I'm going to tell you why it is. My name is Björn Voitel. I am a certified penetration testing professional. I also have some other kind of certifications, also the CND and CEH. And yeah, these are the certifications which were updated and during this year. And the CPENT was the one which came out really new. It's brand new, actually. We have only a few certified members right now. Yeah, the normal evaluation would be to first take the CND, the CEH, and then the CPENT. I would advise you to have at least the CEH because the CPENT is building upon the material we have in the Certified Ethical Hacker. I also would advise you to take the CTH practical. These are scenario. This is also a practical exam to get you into the mood of testing in a practical environment. Okay, as I said, CPENT is a brand new certification, and EC Council had a lot of other certifications like the ECSA, the ECSA Practical Advanced Penetration Tester, also the Licensed Penetration Testing Professional Master. These are all going to be retired, and they are all going into the CPENT. If you are certified, you will keep your certification, of course. And there's one other way to get the Licensed Penetration Testing Master, and I will come to that later on. So they took all the what EC Council did. They took all the material and brought it together to get a brand new certification, and which is 100% practical. So what's contained in the CPENT? First, we have, of course, some advanced Windows attacks where we are doing some kind of Kerberos roasting, active attacks on Active Directory, on the hashing we have there. We also have some advanced binary exploitation, meaning exploiting buffer overflows, vulnerabilities in servers in 64-bit and 32 bits. And we also have some binary analysis. What we have next, we have privilege escalation, of course. So you got a foothold on the on a machine. You will also have to get privilege escalation because the end thing is we want to get root or admin or system access on a host, and then go from there to another network, which means we are going to pivot from a multi-home machine to another network, which won't be reachable by the outside, but would be reachable by the host we attacked and got a foothold on. So sometimes we also have to do some kind of double pivoting. So this, you don't have a flat network there or isolated host. You will have real-time environment where you are having connected networks, and you're going to pivot into the other networks through these hosts. You will also learn something about to make life easier with attack automation scripts, and what you will also face in the exam will be you will be faced with some kind of countermeasures, meaning ACLs, antivirus software, and also firewalls, of course. And some two other topics we have here, and there Easy Council does the first thing there is the IoT, Internet of Things, and operation technology pen testing, meaning you will have some kind of Modbus devices, etc., in the IT environment, and you will check these for vulnerabilities, and also you will analyze firmware from IoT devices and see which vulnerabilities lie in there. Okay, the CPENT is made up of 14 modules and also some appendixes. The appendices then give you a good understanding of some fundamental programming knowledge you need to have, like Python, Bash, Ruby, and also some foundational basics on Active Directory pen testing, etc. So, as I said, this is a practical exam. You will find many labs here. We have about 99 iLabs there. The most being, of course, in the internal network penetration testing area, but then also in the binary analysis and exploitation. And we also have iLabs for the appendixes, of course. Okay, in comparison to the ECSA, the number of labs the CPENT has, it's doubled. So we have about nearly 100 labs. And what we also have, we not only have the iLabs there, because the exam will be a practical exam, you also will get access to a challenge range, depending on what type of challenge or what kind of access you have bought. This is a network structure where you are going to connect to, and then you will get an idea on a very good idea on what you can expect on the exam. So there are some hosts there, not so many as on the exam, but quite a few, and you can practice there if you have finished all your iLabs and finished all the theoretical stuff. So if you prepared very well, you are going to take the exam. The exam will be either one 24-hour session, or, and that's a bit different from competitors, we have two 12-hour sessions. I would really recommend taking the 2 times 12-hour session, because this is firstly more realistic, and if you're like me, I need my sleep, you will be much more awake when you're doing the second part. And there can also be some days between that, so that's even more realistic. To pass the certification, you need to get a pass mark of 70% or higher. And afterwards, you also have to get the pen test report submitted. So you have 7 days from the finishing of session 2 for that. And there's also a difference where some other certification instances only allow you 24 hours after you have already taken 24 hours. So that's a good point there as well. If you manage to make the pass mark of 90% or higher, you are not only will get the CPENT certification, you also will get the license penetration testing master certification. And here we have quite a comparison to other certifications we have in that field. You can very clearly see that we have the most topics in there compared to other certifications. Okay, so as this is a practical certification, I'm going to show you some practical stuff from what you can expect in the labs. Going to stop the sharing. Once, and then I'm going to share my other screen. Okay, so can you see it? I hope so. So you have some virtual machines here in the environment. If you are already familiar with the iLabs, you can choose some of these machines from the top. There is there is a parent machine which you will be using at the attacker machine. There are Windows machines, Windows servers, Ubuntu machines, quite a bunch there. And okay, so some people asked me, what can we expect on the exam or on the course, which will help me as a penetration tester? I'm doing penetration tests myself on a daily basis. So I'm going to show you 6 of my favorite tools, which are also covered here in the labs. First, of course, we have, it's not so much about the tools we use. We can use scripting, as we will show you in the course as well. It's about the methodology we have. If you have taken the CH, you will be familiar with the attack methodology we have with EC Council. It's first information gathering in the first phase, where you are asking search engines and collecting information from OSINT sources. Then we have scanning and reconnaissance, where we are testing we are port scanning our hosts and seeing which hosts are alive actually. Then we are doing fingerprinting and enumeration, taking collecting information about the version of the services which are running on the host, and see whether we can get some more information like usernames, etc., configurations from misconfigured services. Then we are doing vulnerability assessment, which means we are going to see which of these services are vulnerable. We are taking off low-hanging fruits. I mean, you have 24 hours in the exam, but you will have more than 5 hosts where you will have questions about. So expect about more than 15 hosts you will have on the exam network. And then we are doing exploit research and verification, meaning you will choose an exploit, you will get there. And this there on this point, I would like to mention that you are not restricted in any way with vulnerability assessment or exploit research or exploitation to use. You can use any tool you would like. There's no restriction like there is in any other. So you can use Metasploit, for example, on every host you can find. And then in the last part, you will do the reporting, of course. Okay, so I would like to start simply. It's first good idea to get root. That's because some of the scanning we are going to do will be only possible with root privileges. Okay, let's see what hosts we have here, which hosts are alive. As we are on the same network, it will do an RP, RP scan. And here we have quite a bunch of hosts. And if we do a quick scan, a really quick scan on this one, see which ports are open. Oh, this is only has port 80 open. As I said before, in some cases you will run into ACLs, firewalls, or probably rate limiting kernels like BSD, which will rate limit your scanning. And then you'll have to fine tune your scanning, and will probably have to do some other scan techniques to get past these security measures. Okay, let's see which version it's running on this port 80. It's running there. I mean, should be web server probably. Okay, so we have an Apache HTTPD 2.2.22. And also it says, okay, it seems to be Ubuntu running on that. So yeah, let's have a quick look. You will also get a methodology. You will develop one yourself for identifying these low-hanging fruits. And if we open this website, we'll see, okay, this is the default website from the installation, which it seems to be blank, but well, we have to check that because it just means there is no index PHP or just the default index.html. We don't know whether there are any subfolders there. And what I personally very like a lot about MWeb is its versatility. It comes with a lot of scripts, which helps you in doing some basic enumeration and also some vulnerability scanning. So it is very cheap and very performant alternative to vulnerability scanners like Nessus or OpenWare. So one script we have here is HTTP enum, and we'll do that on this one, only on port 80, of course. And this will run the script. See what comes out of there. Okay, so we have some more information here about the HTTP server. And we are seeing what HTTP enum did. It searched for well-known folders under there, which are not directly linked, but may contain interesting information. And what we also see in practical engagements, in real-world engagements, is that very often we have these kind of files here. And what it does display, yes, it displays the PHP version command. And this also gives me a very good idea about which kind of server I'm facing here. Of course, it's a Linux machine. I also see the kernel version here already, which comes in handy probably later on if we are doing some privilege escalation there with older kernels. Because in the end, as I said, we want to get root. We see the configuration settings, etc. here. So this is something you will also find in real world engagements. Okay, so what also do we have? Oh yeah, we have WordPress, hosted WordPress there. And okay, so let's have a look there. Okay, takes a bit to load, but there it is. And this also looks like a CPENT demo site. Interesting thing with these demo sites is they were probably quickly set up with default settings or let's say bad passwords set up. I mean, that's also the case in real-time real-world engagements. Administrators do stupid things sometimes. And we have some other scan tools or scripts. One of them is a specialized one. I'm going to clear this up now. And this is called WP Scan, a WP Scan. This means it's a specialized scan tool for WordPress. It searches for WordPress installation for vulnerabilities. And what it also does, it does some kind of enumeration. So, and we are now going to enumerate users because we have normally we have a login site here, which can be reached like this. And yes, and we can try to enter admin and some kind of password, and then click on log in. Okay, so I have to enable cookies. Okay. Interesting. No, I'll do that. Well, while looking for that, I'm going to start a script already, which will give me an enumeration of the users and also of the installed plugins they have. Also, the plugins in WordPress can have some kind of vulnerability. And okay, what we have seen here is we have seen there are two users identified, Mike and admin, and these are gotten by the author ID because they have seemed to have written some kind of message or block entry there, and yeah, so we have enumerated Mike and admin from there. Okay, so what we can do with that, of course, we can try to enter that manually in the form field, but also WP Scan did that for us. So they have a brute forcer there. So I can use the usernames, admin and Mike, must be one of these. And okay, and then I can take a word list. Yeah, sometimes it's, oops, sorry. It's all about good word lists, having good word lists at hand. So we'll try now the username admin with all the words in the password text file, and also Mike with all these passwords. And while this is going to run, this takes quite a while, I'm going to see where I can find my cookies. Okay, should work now. Okay, this is something also which is very interesting. It says here in the error message, username admin is incorrect. Oh, sorry, the password you entered for the username admin is incorrect. What if I take admin1? And there it says invalid username. It should not do that. It should say simply username or password invalid. So this would also be a possibility to enumerate usernames. Okay, let's see what's our script doing. Oh, there it found one. Mike and the password prints from the word list. Okay, let's try this. Mike prints. There we are. We have now access to the back end, which means we can post things there. But this is not something we would like to do. We would like to have access to the server itself. But one thing you have noted is that we only have seen port 80 open, so we can try the login from Mike and Prince together with SSH, for example. So we have to get to another way to find an entry there. And therefore, we will use Netcat. Netcat is a tool for redirecting traffic over a network and redirecting input and output and error messages to a network. And there we'll try to get an what we call a reverse shell. And yeah, we have access to the backend and now can try to enter some PHP code to get this reverse shell. And let's see where we can enter PHP codes. There we have our PHP files here, which are part of the theme. Let's go there. Footer. Okay. Okay, we have one thing I have to do. Just a moment. There it is, Plumer, searching for that one. Okay, I need to open a script. We have a PHP script. This is also coming with Parrot and Kali Linux. I have to do some modification there because it has to know my IP address of the attacker machine. I'm going to edit this here. So you will also learn how to configure the exploits there as well. And well, we can leave it port 1, 2, 3, 4 there as well. Otherwise, we probably have to change that in other settings, because if we have, let's say, egress filtering, if we have egress filtering, we have to get to the we have to get another port running. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. And we're going to put that into this theme. Okay, so this one. Okay, so okay, I've now edited the footer PHP. Before I save that, I'm going to open another console because we need to have some kind of listener running, which is going to catch our reverse shell. Okay. Update file. Okay, so and now what we have to do is simply visit our website, and then you already see that it's loading very, very long. Oh, and there we are. There we are. There we are as we have a shell running as www-data, which is actually the Apache user. And now we can do all kind of stuff there, and we can go from there. We can visit home, and there we have JSON, and there we can also have a look at probably some configuration files, some internal files, some user text, and also we can also enumerate things from there, and then probably get to root, because right now we cannot do so much, but we can probably also get to JSON first, and then from there on to root. Okay, that's so much about the Netcat. We have some other tools as well. We have, for example, we have Metasploit. Okay, first let's get root again. Metasploit is a tool which I'm also using a lot in penetration testing engagements. With Metasploit, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with that already. If you have taken the CAH, you probably are. The Metasploit is a exploitation framework. You don't need to have that kind of programming experience, but you can also use readily developed exploits to get a shell or execute some commands, malicious commands on a compromised server, which has some kind of vulnerabilities. You can also use this one as a scanner, as a port scanner, exactly. We are doing some kind of SYN scan here. Let's take another host. Let's take this one, and then go for it. It's not so efficient like Nmap, so the port scan is going to take a bit longer. Well, that reminds me, if you also already have the CH, you probably would like to take the CH practical. This is an addition to the exam. It's from the CH theoretical. There's no extra course for it. If you have done the iLabs, you should be good to go. There are 20 scenario questions, and you will be confronted with an iLab-like environment where you have to answer some questions about the scenarios, where you probably get some output from Wireshark, which you have to analyze and see which computer is scanning which one. And you also have to probably do some Nmap scanning and see how many ports are open on a specific host. And yeah, this is going, although Metasploit now it's doing some port scanning. You can do that with that. You say it's not very fast, but it's working. Well, we have this is port 135 and 139 open. It seems to be a Windows machine. Well, I'm going to interrupt that there. Get that. Well, we can do a ping at first and verify that already. So we have, say here, we have a time to live of 128. If you have 128, this is a Windows machine. We can use Nmap again to test for the exact or get a good estimate on the operating system which is running on this machine. But this only gives us a rough estimate, let's say. So it says, okay, it could be a Windows 7 or Windows 2008, 8.1, whatever kind of that. And then also Nmap comes to the rescue with the script they have. They have one script which is SMBOS discovery. So as long as port 445 is open and accessible, it will give us a very good idea on the operating system which is running. It's identified that as 2000 Windows Server 2008 R2 Enterprise 7601 Service Pack 1. And if you have done some kind of scanning and probably also some capture the flags, one thing comes to mind there, and this is the vulnerability of MS17-010, which is Eternal Blue. And this is something we can check again with Metasploit. And not only check for that, we can also exploit that later. So let's check for that. Scanner, so your scanner, LMB. Oops. Okay, set our host, the host we are going to attack or scan, and then do a run. Okay, so our script says, okay, this host is likely vulnerable, and also says it is a 64-bit machine. This is important because we have to use the right payload and exploit for that. So let's try to exploit that now. Oh, sorry, forgot one. It's of course the type. It's an exploit. There it is. Okay. And it also chooses the right payload already because it knows from the scanning we did before that it is a 64-bit machine. So we only have to set the error host again. And then fire. And you don't need to have any exploit development thing there, because sometimes if you take an exploit from a GitHub environment, for example, you don't know whether this is running at all or which property you have to fix some kind of code. So you don't know what the payload does actually. And it drops us here to a meterpreter. Meterpreter is a shell which is quite stable and where we have some more things we can do other than a reverse shell only. But first, let us check who we are. We are dropping down to a shell. Where am I? And that's very good. We are already system. System locally to get system. This is the ultimate goal. You can do anything with system there. And I'm going to show you a cool thing we do with meterpreter, for example. So we are already, although we exited, we are still in the shell. We still have the connection there. And we have a bunch of commands. And we can do, as we are system, we can dump the content of the SEM database. The SEM database contains the hash values of the passwords for every user on the machine. And there we have the administrator and guest. And this is the NTLM version 2 hash value. I'm going to copy that. And what I would normally do now is show you the tool Hashcat. Hashcat is an offline cracking tool. Especially in this machine, Hashcat does not run. It runs on the other environments, but it does not do on this one. So, but nevertheless, no problem. We can do the same. Again, EC Council it doesn't matter which tools you use. So I use this one. This is an open database with precompiled traffic lights. Okay. Hope this works. Robot, perfect. With precompiled rainbow tables. So this is simply a database where you have to look up the hash values to the passwords. So it found a hash. It's an NTLM hash, and this is the clear text password we have for the administrator. Bingo. Okay, this is kind of an offline password attack. I'm going to quickly show you one more thing, an online password attack, and therefore I very often use Hydra. Hydra is an online password cracker, and it also uses word lists like with usernames, and it uses word lists for passwords, and it also can handle many protocols like SMB, FTP, SSH, Telnet, whatever, and does some kind of dictionary attack on that, kind of doing on that one. So, and there it is running. And this takes a bit of time now, but it will come up with a username password combination. Take some time. Well, if as we are watching this already, I'm going to stop the presentation or stop the recording, and then I would be glad to answer your questions if you have any.